News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Can you believe it is already the third hour? Absolute craziness, y'all. Okay, so this is alarming to me, and wanted to share this with you. We teased it for 10 o'clock tonight, so we're right on time on this. A whistleblowing doctor at Texas Children's Hospital charged with felonies by the Biden Justice Department. For what? Well, journalist Chris Rufo from City Journal revealed this. And it was this doctor was at Texas Health. He was earning his residency, and he was just about to officially earn the residency. And he was at the Texas Children's Hospital. CEO Mark Wallace, City Journal says, announced that Mark Wallace was shutting down the child gender clinic. It was because of all the complaints, all the scary stories, and all the demands from parents being outraged, and taxpayers and people, everybody being outraged at, almost everybody being outraged that children's genitals were being mutilated, removed, or they were being given hormone therapies, which is damaging as far as bone density, all sorts of things that they can never get back. And there are no long-term studies, and the short ones do not look good. And a lot of experts have come out and said this is not good. So, so the CEO of Children's Hospital, Mark Wallace, announced he was shutting down the clinic, but doctors at the hospital, City Journal reports, including Richard Ogden Roberts, David Pohl, and Christy Rylon, never stopped. The public would not have known if not for courageous surgeon Ethan Haim. He contacted City Journal's Rufo about the hospital, how they had lied about terminating transgender medical program that they had, that doctors were in fact continuing to perform sex change procedures on children as young as 11. 11. Within a week, Texas legislatures passed a bill confirming transgender medical procedures for minors were illegal. Thank goodness. On the morning of June 2023, that Haim was to graduate from Texas Children's Residency Program, Texas Children's Hospitals, federal agents knocked on his door. Now, mind you, he did not share any HIPAA violations or any of that. He just simply shared, and I've got the documentation, the procedure, the time, and it says, like, here, I'll just read the names, everything, all the information is redacted except for this. I'll just read a couple of the ones. 9 a.m. gender identity 4/25 provider out of office left message, and then it says ENEST gender identity, and then 10 a.m. gender dysphoria 4/25 provider out. NEST gender identity, whatever ENEST means. 11 a.m. gender dysphoria 4/24 left message with new appointment date. Refills and HRT options. Progress. Blah, blah, blah. I can't read the last part all over. Scheduled per provider. Adrenal insufficiency 3/28 provider out of office, and then for early puberty stuff, medicine refill, testosterone levels, gender identity, medication, and it shows gender identity line after line. 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old. Can you believe this? So the CEO said it's not happening. It was still happening after he said so. So either doctors were disobeying or Children's Hospital was lying. And as I mentioned, according to Chris Rufo, these dates here, within a week, we passed a law banning it. It's illegal. So on the morning that he was to graduate from Texas Children's Residency Program, federal agents from Joe Biden's Justice Department knocked on his door. They identified him as a potential leaker of this information. Shortly thereafter, the U.S. Attorney, probably in the Northern District of Texas here, Tina Ansari, began threatening him with prosecution. Earlier this week, U.S. Marshals appeared back at his home, Rufo says, and summoned him to court to face an indictment on 4 felony counts. All the documents were, in fact, carefully redacted, he says, just so you know. So they're trying to say that he released information that was, HIPAA, violation and stuff like that. But he didn't. All it says is the call, the age, and what the procedure was to prove that it was wrong. And he plans to mount a vigorous defense in court, soliciting public support. He's got a GoFundMe thing. Last name is Haim, Haim, and he's a surgeon, Ethan Haim, if you're interested in Googling it, looking for it. So, are you glad that he shared this? Do you support the Justice Department knocking on his door and giving him 4 indictments for sharing information on this when he redacted the names, just the nature of the calls, the dates, the times, and the age? Is that something that you want our Justice Department to investigate and go after people for, as Joe Biden's Justice Department has done now? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'm going to tell you something else. My answer is a solid no. And I do respect the idea that HIPAA violations, I joke about it all the time, with, like, when I go to the doctor's office, dentist's office, it's HIPAA violation, it's HIPAA violation. I just joke with them. And when I went into one of my sponsors, Connect Hearing, I had to sign something because of the, HIPAA violation, because I want my salesperson, Carlene, who is awesome. I've worked with her for 14 plus years now. She's the best. And Carlene needs access to whatever they, can we share stuff? I'm like, yes. I mean, this is not my deep, darkest secrets, my hearing, and it's for a commercial campaign that we're doing, an endorsement campaign, and I got hearing aids from him. Yes, I want her to be able to collaborate and write scripts for my ads, so I signed off on that, and then I'll sue later, so, there's no ads, that's forged. No, I'm just kidding. But, and I said, it's a HIPAA violation. I don't, obviously stuff is serious. I mean, I'm not here to say medical identity or medical issues should be ever allowed private. There's no excuse for it. That's something that the left would do with anything that is Trump or conservative related, and get a slap on the wrist if that. But in this case, I think it's great because this was illegal. And they had promised publicly, and there's no names, and there's no way to know who it is. So I think this is another intimidation thing. You know what this reminds me of? I don't think it's clear to me it's an intimidation thing, so I'm strongly against it, cracking down on them. And number 2 is, I read from my buddy Eric Erickson, conservative blogger who is an incredible writer and a radio guy. He used to fill in for me back in the day, and we're friends. He was on here about 3-4 weeks ago. Eric was writing about, there's a woman who is wheelchair bound and elderly, and she did apparently try to block the clinic with people going in. You can't do that. But they're prosecuting her to the fullest extent of the law, and she's this elderly wheelchair-bound lady. And in the law, there's discretion. I mean, she wasn't physically intimidating people, in a wheelchair because she's elderly. I mean, she probably was being inappropriate and wrong. And I support the government saying, "Hey, here's the deal. We're gonna go through the motions with you. However they can do it to get it on paper and say you're in violation of this. If this happens again, we're going to charge." You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is like a warning ticket. Whatever they can do, but not take. This woman's I don't know if she's in jail already. They're prosecuting her, though. I think that deserves a stern warning and a legal rebuke. Whatever they got to do, if they got to take it through a little system to put it all, codify it all, or put it all down on paper. But you don't put some elderly woman in that wheelchair who was wrong. I mean, it's not legal to block the clinic. I don't break the law if I can help it. And I don't do things that are illegal to do a better cause unless it's something that violates my faith or, my ethics or morals. But I've never done something like that, nor will I. So I understand cracking down on that woman, but to charge her with felonies and put her in jail, I mean, this is crazy. These people are nuts that are running this whole administration. It's scary. Coming up next, this is going to be awesome. I mean, this is going to be really awesome. Are you ready for this? I can't wait for this. Motoring expert reveals the 5 popular car models that will not make it to 100,000 miles without a major problem. Now, this is something we can all talk about. This is something I love. Which cars have you had the worst experience with? Tell me that. Which cars have you had the worst experience with? Doesn't matter the make or model or the mileage. I want to hear about it. And number 2, which cars have been the best to you with longevity and performance? People like me, I love hearing about, and you love sharing about your vehicles that are high mileage and running like a champ. And also, I want to hear from you about your vehicles that don't make it past 100,000 without significant repairs, that are crappy cars in your opinion. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I have the list. Top 5 cars that will not make it to 100,000 miles without major problems. Next. News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Well, I think we're going to get into this. Motoring Expert reveals the 5 popular car models that will not make it to 100,000 miles. Are you ready for this? They will not make it to 100,000 miles without a major problem. All right. And by the way, I want you to also call in and tell me which cars have you had which cars have you had the worst experience with? And which ones have been the best to you with longevity and performance? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'll give you the list in a second. But I got to tell you, with this economy and the prices, I will be hanging on to my 2 cars. One has 103,000 and one has 127,000. I'm going to hang on to them possibly beyond 200,000. We've owned them since they were 24,000 and 36,000 collectively and taken very good care of them. And they're great cars. My mechanic always smiles and he's like, yeah, I was wrong. He thought these cars might be an issue. He's like, they're incredible. And he wants one. He's wanted one for like 3 years, but he can't get one now unless he pays an arm and a leg. Aha! And he's been working on them since day one. I'll tell you what these ones are, and we'll hear yours now. Mike in Fairview, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Chris. You're a great American. I'll tell you about the vehicle that I've had the best luck with. It's my daily driver. I'm driving it now. I bought it brand new with no miles. I had 25 miles on it when I bought it. But I have a 2014 Honda CR-V.
Nice.
And I have 413,000 miles on it.
Oh!
And everything works.
Wait a minute.
Cold AC.
Okay, what year is it again?
2014.
Do you drive in sales? I mean, what is this?
Yeah, I used to have Texas and the surrounding states.
I knew it, like a regional.
I used to fix military radar systems for Raytheon, and so I had to go to the military bases all the time.
Getting the Raytheon plug-in. Okay, so you don't do that anymore now. You work locally?
I don't. I work locally. I work for a large cosmetics manufacturer here that's based out of Addison. But I have lots of locations that I have to go to, so I'm probably putting 300 miles a week on it right now.
Okay, now, did you get the oil changes religiously and coolant flushes, whatever your mechanic recommended? Or what do you get it worked on? A mechanic that you trust or what?
Yeah, so there's I'll tell you the shop. It's in downtown McKinney. It's called Integrity Automotive. That's where I go. But I do oil changes.
You do whatever they tell you to, as far as because you trust them? Okay.
Yeah. So like say every 100,000 miles, the valves have to be adjusted.
Right.
I do that. The spark plugs have to be done. My transmission fluid, I do at about 70,000 miles. This is an all-wheel drive car, so I have a rear differential.
Wait.
But I have to have the oil changed.
It's a Honda Civic CR-V, and it's an all-wheel drive?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes.
I never would think they would make one. Why?
What do you mean, why?
I'm not knocking it, but a Civic all-wheel drive? I would think it'd be like an SUV type. But I think it's cool. I'm not against it. I'm just thinking it's wild.
It's the CR-V.
Okay, so that's like the mini SUV one.
Yeah, the small SUV that's based on the Civic.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that's where I'm getting. That's why. Okay, yeah. I got it. Okay, and obviously, yours is probably on a frame that's like a car frame, not an actual SUV. On insurance paperwork, for example, like I have an SUV that's actually on a frame that's a car frame. Believe it or not. So I didn't know that. So, but that doesn't mean anything. You love your car, and I love my car.
Yeah, I also have a Toyota Sequoia, so that's...
I want your car! I'm stealing it! What year is it? How many miles?
It's a 2019. It's got 42,000.
Bleep!
I wanted the V8. Actually, I wanted the SR5, but I couldn't find one because I prefer the cloth interior.
Did you buy it brand new?
Limited. No, I bought it used, and I bought it from the Toyota of McKinney.
Okay, so, how old was it, and how many miles when you bought it?
So it was 3 years old when I bought it.
With like what? 60?
And it had like 32,000.
Okay, I'm going to guess that was 60 grand.
Yes, correct.
Boom! Hoo-ah! Thanks, brother. All right, let's see. Nathan in Saginaw, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Okay, I always wanted a Corvette. And I finally got one.
Did you get an old one, though? I don't like the old ones. I want a new one.
No, this was in the old days anyway.
Yeah.
So it was, I guess it was a 72, but it was a long time ago when I got it. And I bought it used, and I guess that was my first mistake. But three things happened. The first thing is I was driving down the highway, and
Quick question. Did you get it tested? Did you get a mechanic to check it out?
Absolutely not.
That's the big mistake right there. Go ahead, sir.
I know.
Go ahead.
And I was driving down the highway, and the rear end fell out of it.
No big deal.
So
happens all the time.
Yeah,
just kidding.
Yeah, I know. And then I took it to a place, and all they did was work on Corvette. That was it.
Nice.
And so they fixed it up and everything, and a while later, the rear end fell out of it again.
No big deal. Same thing happens all the time. Yeah.
And so I took it back, and they fixed it. And then one day I'm driving along, and I'm making a left turn in an intersection, and the steering wheel came out in my hand.
Yes! Yes! That's an adventure. I love this. What did you do? Crash into a building?
No, I got off of it, got off the gas, and I was coasting there for a while, and I fought and finally got the steering wheel back into the column where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And went ahead and made the turn,
So it was fine. No sweat.
So I had to press down, to make sure that never happened again.
Yeah.
On the way home. And
I got a roll, but did you get it fixed?
No, I got rid of the car.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Why not? Nathan, thanks for your call. My gosh, okay, Corvette's off the list. Chris in Leonard. You're on, you'll be coming up next. I apologize. Best cars are blank. He'll tell us what he thinks. I will give you the official list. There's 5 cars. I have it here. They're all different manufacturers. And I want you to tell me, this is the 5 popular car models that will not make it over 100,000 miles. I would never get a car that couldn't do that. And I believe this is accurate. Which cars have you had the worst experience with? What cars have been the best to you with longevity and performance? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Oh, yeah. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. And you can't run down the dream if your car ain't reliable, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I have the top 5 cars that will not make it to 100,000 miles, according to one expert. This is reported by the Daily Mail. Number 1 worst out of them all. Nissan Versa. And you cannot believe the amount of people over and over and over again that respond to this article that say, yes, that's exactly true. Mine went out at 30,000 miles. Mine went out at 40,000 miles, got it replaced, went out again 10,000 miles later. Like insane things. I'll read you some details on that in a second. But number 2 is Mitsubishi Mirage. It's cheap and it's made cheaply, they say. I've never wanted to buy a Mitsubishi because it's built by the same company that makes really good TVs. At least when I was in the business in junior college some 25, 30 years ago. About 30 years ago. Kia Optima. I'm sorry, I will never buy a Kia in my life. The only one that looks good to me, I can't lie to you, is the Palisades one. That's the SUV one, right? That looks good. Is it really reliable? I don't know, but I would never. I'm not trying to be mean. No way in hell would you catch me buying a Kia ever. Look, if I needed a car and I couldn't afford anything, I would take it and I'd be very happy. If I needed a car and I couldn't afford anything but that one, I would take it and I'd be very happy. But you're going to end up paying more in the end, at least on the Optima. Number 4, Chrysler 300. I drove one. Listen, I had a car dealership endorsement at about 15, 16 years ago before I came here. So it has nothing to do with here. It was another state. It was in Georgia. And I had a different car every week, and it was a Chrysler 300 or 500 once. And that thing was a piece of junk. It like blew up on the side of the road. It was supposed to be, it was being sold. They loaned me each car for a week. I drive it around, and I wasn't abusing it, and they just blew up. I'm like, what the, holy crap. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I would never buy a Chrysler, and you can tell me why I'm wrong, but no thank you. Your Maserati will fall apart at 100,000 according to this. All right, how about you? I'll give you more details on that in a second. But what about you? What are the best or worst cars? Which have you had the worst experience with? Which have been the best for longevity and performance? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I am a Toyota guy, and I have driven them, and I will always drive them. I love them. We have 3 of them in our family right now. One of them's from my parents. My parents blessed. Finally, somebody in my family was able to bless one of us because we couldn't afford to give cars away. But my parents came because they're grandparents now. They gave their Camry to my son, and that boy is blessed. We drove that thing down. It's got 167,000 miles in 04. We drove it down from Chicago. It's and it came in the middle of the winter, like 3 years ago. I don't even remember anymore. And that thing's tough. My mechanic said it's great. It's awesome. Yeah, there's rust. It's been in Chicago all its life, and he doesn't like that, but a lot. He doesn't like it, but he's like, we did what he told him to do. He told us to do this, this, and this. Replace these hoses. They won't make it through one summer. We did, and get a battery, this or that. Nothing big. Boom, 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 boom. It needs new struts now, but it's got 179,000 miles on it. It's probably needed them about 70,000 miles ago. Jerry in Dallas, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Okay, well, the worst car I ever had was a Colorado with a 5-cylinder engine from 2005.
Is it a GMC, like SUV?
Well, actually, it's a pickup truck, and it's from Chevrolet.
Okay.
I've had a lot of dadgum cars, excuse me.
Yeah, it's better. Shame on you.
I had a Mustang. I had a 1990 Mustang LX with a 4-banger. It had 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and that thing lasted till 140,000 miles until my son got his license and drove in the rain.
It doesn't work in the rain?
He doesn't work well in the rain.
Oh, okay. I see that it crashed. I had a friend that had a Dodge Shelby Mustang, like the 67 or something. Like when it was he had one of those. He kept it on his lift in his garage.
No, and the sad thing is again, it's just a 4-banger. Probably doesn't even put out 100 horsepower, from 1990. But the worst piece of crap the worst car we had was my late wife's Escape. And
Ford Escape. You wanted to escape from it, didn't you?
It was turbocharged, huh?
Well, you wanted to escape from it, didn't you?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had to spend $1,600 just so I could trade it in to buy my new XT5, which I love.
What is an XT5? Who makes that? I don't know anything about that.
Cadillac.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a wonderful car with a very strong, 300 and something horsepower V6.
How many miles have you put on it, sir? How many miles does it have on it now?
Well, it has 43,578. I just pulled up in my garage.
Sir, you got to speak to me at 100,000. I'm skeptical.
Well, okay, I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging on the Cadillac as far as
you're just saying you love it for now.
Goes.
Right now, you love it.
Yeah, I love this dadgum thing.
All
It's
right.
just unbelievable.
Last but not least,
but the worst again,
yes.
the worst thing and the best thing were both from Ford. The worst thing was the Ford Escape. The best thing was the Ford Mustang with the 2.3 liter four banger.
What about my Ford Escort? Does anybody want to give a plug to my Ford Escort? We call it the Stealth Escort. We would turn the lights off and drive at night with the stealth mode. Nobody wants to hear about my Stealth Escort? Sorry, go ahead.
Good night.
Good night. I guess you didn't like my humor. It was a black. I had a maroon one and a black one. I bought the maroon one for $1,300. All right, Michael in Royce City. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 at FM WBAP.
How you doing, Chris?
Good, sir. How are you?
Oh, it's great to hear from you, man. It's great to listen to the show. I listen to you every night since you hit the air.
Hugs from over here in Dallas. Thank you, my friend. It's very nice of you.
Yeah. I've got this Dodge Ram. And I got this Dodge Ram in 2008, and it was a 2004, and I got it with 30,000 miles. And I've been doing construction years before that and all these other different kind of trucks you can think of.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wound up with this Dodge Ram, and I do construction, so it's got pallets of tile in it all the time going to the job, all the way to the dump. I'm hauling construction. I never had a trailer, never pulled a trailer with it. This thing has been wrecked 8 times, and one of those times it was totaled. And I still got that truck. I drove it today. That thing's got 340,000 miles. It's got the original motor, the original transmission.
Wow.
The rear end has been replaced 4 or 5 times because it's been rear-ended so many times. It's been more violated than the fish at Rikers. And
wow. More what again? More what than a fish at Rikers?
Violated.
Than a fish?
Yeah, it's been rear-ended like 4 or 5 times, this truck.
I don't know if I want to get the details on that, but I'm laughing. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, one time it's just parked on the side of the road. I ran out of gas. I go into Kroger's, and I come out, and there's an ambulance behind the fire truck. And some car rear-ended my truck.
All you did was run out of gas.
Yeah.
I didn't hit anybody, I swear.
No, it was a foggy day. I get it. I had my hood up and then my flashers on, but it didn't matter.
Were you in the middle of the road?
No, it was parked on the side of the road.
Well, you got to be, in their defense, when it's foggy, you always want to drive on the side of the road, not on the road.
Yeah, I think what happened was somebody, like a truck, came up behind me and seen me, and the car was tailgating them, and they moved out of the way, and they just...
Moron alert. Well, all right, Mike. Well, thank you for that great story. I appreciate you, brother.
You're welcome.
Americana. All right, Chris in Leonard, we're going to talk to you next. We don't have time, do we? We want to take him next or now? Or... Okay, we want to get you now, Chris. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. The producer has made a the judges have decided to allow you to stay in this segment, sir. You are blessed, my friend. I'm giving you the papal blessing. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
Good, sir. How are you?
Really good. So my favorite is going to be the 99 through 13 Chevy trucks. They last forever. I've had no issues with them. And minor stuff, if there is. I have one truck. I think it's a 2000 or 2001. It's one of my trucks. It's got over 400,000 miles on it.
Whoa! Wow. I'm guessing you take total care of it to get it to that point.
Actually, it's a race truck now because it got wrecked. It was a buddy of mine's. He wrecked it quite a few times, but that last one was a doozy, so he sold it to me. Got the body work done. And I went to drive off, and that's when the engine decided it wanted to go out. It was knocking, so I put a race engine in it.
It was knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, yeah.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
It's still running. I appreciate
you. Thank you. Okay, I'll give you the details on these other ones coming up next, but also we're going to have, let's see, what do we got next? We got a whole bunch of different things here. Oh, what do I think we're going to do? I'm looking. You know what? We'll have a little fun. What do I have in my bag of tricks? Oh, here we go. I love this one. Worst boss on Capitol Hill. Staffers describe her as a maniac representative who threw furniture in her toxic office. Who is this person? I will reveal it according to the report I have in my hands. That's always fun unless chairs are getting thrown at you. Next on the Chris Crock Show, no chairs thrown here. I've only got one I'm sitting on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Our number is 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. And for a limited time, only one segment, 800-CHAIR. Okay, real fast on the cars, just to follow up on the car miles that won't make it to 100,000 miles. Nissan Versa, Mitsubishi Mirage, Kia Optima, Chrysler 300, Maserati. And then here's what Consumer Reports says. This Consumer Reports names 10 least reliable cars for 2024. Jeep Wrangler, 27 out of 100 reliability score. I guess 100 would be the most reliable. 27. Jeep Grand Cherokee, 26. Are you getting the message? Don't buy a Jeep. VW Jetta, that's embarrassing. My dad had a Jetta, but that's when they were good in the, I'd say, late 80s, early 90s. Probably late 80s. Jetta diesel, best car ever. We all loved it. Nissan Frontier, 23. Nissan, oh, can I tell you, one of my buddies who's a mechanic in my Sunday school class, we had lunch together. I love them so much. They're the couple I've told you about that are from Peru. She just lost her sister, and her sister's in Peru. It's like a 12 to 14 hour flight. Oh, she's aching. It's so hard for her. We love her so much. We had lunch with them. My wife and I. It was so beautiful. We love them so much. They're wonderful. We went to Micosina, one of the many locations. I won't mention them again unless they pay me. You know, a little endorsement payment if they want to do that. But anyway, so we had a great time. Anyway, he told me that it just came out naturally. Nissans, they suck. They used to be good. They all suck. The parts are crap. They fall apart. Toyota, not the case. Toyota, fantastic. Ay muy fantástico. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Do you understand this? Jeep Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Jeep Grand Cherokee L. The Rivian's a piece of garbage at 22 out of 100 for reliability. Volvo XC60, 21. Ford F-150 Hybrid, 19. Volkswagen Taos. All the Volkswagens, all the Nissans are crap, and the Jeeps, according to this, basically. Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, I could have told you that. Run like hell from that. It's a 14. That's the worst on the list. Jim in Plano, you're on 820 AM and now on FM 93.3.
Toyota, I hate to tell you this, Chris, but Toyota's gone down the drain. Let me give you a quick example. 2020 Toyota.
Yes.
The front headlight goes off. Not $10 to replace a bulb. It's about $1,000. $250 for the full headlight assembly because it's one piece, and about $700 to take the bumper off. Do you believe that?
No, what is it? What model is it?
2020.
2020 what?
Toyota Corolla.
I'm not saying you're wrong. But I just find that hard to believe.
Well, look it up.
We've taken care of a Toyota, a 2004 Toyota. I mentioned a Camry, my son's. We had to replace a lot of stuff on it for something that happened.
2020.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can look it up on the internet. I promise you.
I'm not okay. That's fine. That doesn't mean they're going downhill. It means they designed it to make more money off you, which is wrong.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's going downhill because you're not servicing the customer.
I got to roll, but that's wrong, and I agree with you. If that's the case, that's wrong.